Hi, everyone. So today we are reading the second chapter in The Power of Awareness. And the second chapter is called Consciousness. So let's read and then see where we get to with it. It is only by a chance of consciousness, by actually changing your concept of yourself, that you can build more stately mansions, meaning the manifestation of higher and higher concepts. By manifesting is meant experiencing the results of these concepts in your world. It is of vital importance to understand clearly just what consciousness is. The reason lies in the fact that consciousness is the one and only reality. It is the first and only cause substance of the phenomena of life. Nothing has existence for man except through the consciousness he has of it. Except for the consciousness he has of it. Sometimes, my God, it's very deep. Therefore, it is to consciousness you must turn, for it is the only foundation of which the phenomena of life can be explained. I was reading this chapter a couple of times before I came on to read it for you, but still, because it is so deep, and as you all know, English is not my first language, I really have to focus on it. And it means also when I have to focus on it, that it becomes more clear even while I'm reading it, because I have to really pay attention to every single word, because it is so well said. There is not one word too many. And it means that like everything, every word in the sentence has like a meaning and a reason to be there. There's no words that are just there for to make it like fluffy. It is so spot on. So if we accept the idea of its first cause, it would follow that the evolution of that cause could never result in anything foreign to itself. That is, if the first cause substance was light, all its evolutions, fruits, and manifestations would remain light. The first cause substance being consciousness, all its evolutions, fruits, and phenomena must remain consciousness. It's so deep, you guys, so deep. All that could be observed would be a higher or lower form or variation of the same thing, because everything is consciousness, so it's all the same. In other words, if your consciousness is the only reality, it must also be the only substance. Exactly. Consequently, what appears to you as circumstances, conditions, and even material objects is really only the product of your own consciousness. Nature, then, as a thing or a complex or a complex of things external to your mind, must be rejected. So whatever this means, that the things that you see, you have to question. You and your environment cannot be regarded as existing separately. You and your world are one. Therefore, you must turn from the objective appearance of things to the subjective center of things, your consciousness, if you truly desire to know the cause of the phenomena of life and how to use this knowledge to realize your fondest dreams. So here he's getting to explain to you how you can manifest the life of your dreams. And this is like something that we don't speak that much about in non-duality. When you realize your true nature, you understand everything is consciousness, and that you can of course make a form out of this the way that your mind works, but it's not something that we emphasize in non-duality. In the midst of the apparent contradictions, antagonisms, and contrasts of your life, there is only one principle at work. only your consciousness operating. Difference does not consist in variety of substance, but in variety of arrangement of the same cause substance, your consciousness. I'm going to read that again because it is so important. Difference does not consist in variety of substance. It's not like there is different kinds of consciousness, but in variety of arrangement of the same cause substance, your consciousness. One consciousness that you can arrange differently, not different arrangements, different consciousnesses, whatever. The world moves with motiveless necessity. By this is meant that it has no motive of its own, but is under the necessity of manifesting your concept, the arrangement of your mind. This is it. Manifestation. Manifestation, that's it. You don't need to know more. By this is meant that it has no motive of its own, but is under the necessity of manifesting your concept, the arrangement of your mind. Wow. And your mind is always arranged in the image of all you believe and consent to be true. This is where non-duality steps in. You consent to certain things. I think you got it. Okay? Listen to this. The rich man, poor man, beggar man, or thief are not different minds, but different arrangements of the same mind. In the same sense that a piece of steel, when magnetized, differs not in substance from the demagnetized state, but in the arrangement and order of its molecule. Same substance, different arrangement. A single electron revolving in a specified orbit constitutes the unit of magnetism. When a piece of steel or anything else is demagnetized, the revolving electrons have not stopped. Therefore, the magnetism had not gone out of existence. It's still there. Different arrangement. There's only a rearrangement of the particles so that they produce no outside or visible or perceptible effect. When particles are arranged at random, mixed up in all directions, the substance is said to be demagnetized. But when particles are marshaled in ranks so that a number of them face in one direction, the substance is a magnet. Magnetism is not generated, it is displayed. I want you to really take that in also. Magnetism is not generated, it is displayed, it unfolds. Here we get back into non-duality. Life unfolds. It just happens. Health, wealth, beauty, and genius are not created. They are only manifested by the arrangement of your mind. That is, by your concept of yourself. So you will present yourself as you believe you are. That's it. Isn't that unbelievable? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I'm not so sure that this is exactly how I want to present myself. There are certain aspects of me that I would love to present a little bit different. I have to rearrange my mind. I cannot rearrange the outcome. It is like looking in the mirror and punching against the mirror because I want to change what I see in the mirror. To change what I see in the mirror, I have to change me. I was talking to a client of mine today about that concept. And so it's such an interesting concept. And I see when I talk about that with my clients, I can see them like, oh my God, this is an aha. Like I can point them to see that, which is so beautiful. By the way, if you want to work with me, just send me an email. Um, I'm really loving that. I love helping you if you are if you still feel like you didn't recognize your true nature and you're still seeking, but you're listening to me, then I already know that you realize your true nature, but I just have to point you in a little bit in the direction that your ego is also going to accept it, because that's usually what's going on. I remember that I went through that period. So I'm happy to guide you and to point you in the good direction. Just send me an email and we'll see how we can make that work. So the importance of this, that you can only see the concept of yourself, the importance of this in daily life should be immediately apparent. If you change the view that you have of yourself, you see immediately a difference in your outside world. And that's why it is so amazing to see that evolution. I love working with people, and because from seeing it for myself, it's not so um how am I going to say that? It's like different because I'm in the jar. You cannot see you cannot read the label when you're in the jar. So I also have people helping me, mirroring it back to me. But if I can be a mirror for you, I so love that. It's so amazing when you understand how that works. It always makes me smile, and yeah, it is really nice how that unfolds. So the basic nature of the primal cause in consciousness is consciousness. So the basic nature of the primal cause is consciousness. Therefore, the ultimate substance of all things is consciousness. So this is what we were talking about in this chapter, consciousness, and it ends here. The basic nature of the primal cause is consciousness. Therefore, the ultimate substance of all things is consciousness. So tomorrow I'm going to read a little bit because I did some research also. I wrote a couple of lines down. I want to read them for you. And then tomorrow we go into the power of assumption. I'm telling you, also very powerful. So this is one of the things that I wrote down while I was like working a couple of times through this chapter, is that um, let me see where I have it here. So Neville speaks about the idea that awareness itself is the only reality. There's nothing else. You can rearrange awareness, you can rearrange everything. So, but that's it. That's all there is. So there's only one. That's there's only one. There's nothing else. And everything you experience is an expression of what you are aware of being. It's like you can only see or you can only experience how you are experiencing that awareness. So awareness is not something to use, it is what you are. Like you are awareness, and you use your body mind to express that awareness. And that's also something I see happening with my clients. Like in the beginning, the awareness is there, but it's very segmented. Like they can turn it on and off as like, but then when things happen in life, that's the off switch. Things are happening in life and they go back to their programming, and all of a sudden the dense ego comes in and takes all the space. And then when you start really realizing that consciousness is everything and that there is only consciousness, then you are going to becoming aware of the fact that whatever is happening and the ego is fighting for and trying to fight for his own limitations, the balance, instead of being the ego very present and awareness like very soft on the bottom, although that's who you are, but it is like concealed. And then you see that balance going the other way around until you get to the point that when the ego is like making a lot of noise, that you sit back and you laugh and you enjoy how it is manifesting. And does it work for me all the time? Not at all, but definitely I am way more in touch with the awareness than with um trying to fight my ego. So it's a journey. For me, it was a journey. I know there are people that just have it in one. For me, it was a journey, and I had to be aware and really tune in with that with the question, am I aware? Am I aware? Am I aware? Like just asking the question, am I aware? Yes, I'm aware. There's no other answer. There's no other answer. But asking the question is so important. So once you understand that awareness is everything and that it is what you are, then you also understand that awareness is what creates, not effort. Your work is not going to create your life, but awareness is creating your life. And that is a big, big, big thing to understand. And a lot of people would, I lose half of you right now when I say hard work is not going to get you where you are, because it's, even if you work hard or you don't work hard, the results are going to be exactly what's in your head. So Neville, it makes it easy on us to understand. You don't change your reality by effort, you change it by changing what you are aware of being. And so that is not so easy. So most people think they can fix their external environment, trying to solve the problems, to change everything, their circumstances, other behaviors around them. But that's backwards, you know. And we know from non-duality that all is one. Like whatever I see in my mirror is me, and the mirror is the life that I witness around me. It's me pushed out. So that's what you realize when you realize your true nature, that everything around you is you. You become one with, that's how I felt. I became one with the trees and one with like nature and one with like, it was like, whoa, what is going on here? There's only one. And that's exactly also what Neville says. Like, it's all your awareness that you mirror. So your thoughts, whatever you have in your mind, what you're thinking, the thoughts, they create your reality through awareness, not through doing, which is for a lot of people very hard because we got like put to sleep by thinking that we have to work hard. Awareness holds everything. It holds everything. It's very it is like the opposite of what people think it is. Um, and that's challenging. So when we talk about if we talk about in non-duality about recognizing our true nature, our real self, that's awareness. When you recognize your true nature, you recognize that everything's awareness. And it just and the awareness uses the persona to have an experience. So it is, but awareness is witnessing that. I know, not that easy. So in non-duality, we know that we are the awareness, we are not the story. We are watching the story. The awareness is looking at it. It's like, even though we are, it's like it's an um, interesting idea that it's so hard to explain for me. Like in this moment, when I'm thinking about the idea that I am awareness, I'm not my story, but I'm the one witnessing the story, but you're also witnessing a story, but you witness the story through your awareness. So you look at me through your awareness, which is I am part of what you are pushing out. So it's like a very convoluted dance between you watching me, who is whatever I am saying to you, I am just projecting what you have in your head, and me using me, my awareness using me, the channel, no, the vessel, to reflect something in my. So you and I are in this dance. And at the end of the day, it is one awareness. Because I look at you, you look at me, but it's the same awareness, but um, a different vessel. I hope I make sense. Let me know if it makes sense to you. Let me know if you understand how this awareness is using different forms. Like the awareness, what we would call God or the creator or whatever you want to, whatever name you want to give it. It doesn't really matter. It's awareness, it's consciousness is expressing itself through us, through our body mind. So the awareness that you identify with through your concepts, through your programming, that becomes your story. So it goes really deep, very, very deep, very deep. I wrote more things down, but it's probably all coming back to the same thing because we're talking about that awareness. Um, and yeah, I can see it. It's like awareness is what causes us to have an experience, and but the experience is filtered through our conditioning, and it's the same awareness. So if you want to create, let's be very practical. I'm practical. If you want to create a beautiful life for yourself, then you have to get out of the way. You have to get your ego out of the way, and you have to allow awareness to unfold. And then you just have to let it, you just have to daydream. In a way, it's like, and we're going to probably come to that. You have to see the life that you want in your mind, and then awareness cannot do anything else than to just show it to you. That's how reality gets created. The problem is that usually we put our ego in front of it and we think we can do better, and we start grinding and working and trying to rearrange our outside world by working harder. And that's a failed strategy. It's never going to happen. So awareness is responsible for the life that you are living. And the more you can get out of their way, the more beautiful your life is going to be. So next time we do our next chapter, the power of assumption. We're gonna come there. Assume the wish fulfilled. That's a famous saying of Neville. So I think that's where we're gonna end up the next time. Have a wonderful day, you guys, and bye for now.